Hey guys, and welcome to my F1 Manager series, in which I'm taking Minardi to be the best team around in F1, so Minardi to win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. Okay, so hey guys, and welcome to the start of the third season in this F1 Manager Minardi Manager Career Mode. Now, way back at the start of the first episode, I said the aim for this series was to take Minardi to win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. I reckon this is the magical year where we can do that. The team that finished at the top of the test day was Minardi, with their test car being driven by their former race driver, Luca Badoa. Second this test day is Jordan, with them being represented today by the highly experienced Johnny Herbert. Third this test day is BAR, with Owen Green as their test driver. How the mighty have fallen, with Ferrari way down in 5th. 10th this test day is a massive achievement for the Arrows team, as this may be their first season this century where they won't finish last in the Constructors' Championship. And finally, Heinz Frentzen in the Ferrari, 10th. So he's not doing very well. So there you go, Michael Schumacher is still looking on form despite the fact that the Ferrari in pre-season testing really wasn't all that quick. It's a Minardi 1-2 for the first round of the 2001 season here at Australia. Third is the Ferrari of Michael Schumacher, and his run of straight pole positions has finally ended, a chassis rated 100. This is what we've waited for 2 whole years, a good chassis. And Stephen Watson, the rookie, also out with a driver error, and that's why Williams need to get 2 experienced drivers. Well, that's gutting, isn't it? David Coulthard out with an engine failure, so even in 2001 we probably won't get a Minardi 1-2. To win the 2001 Australian Grand Prix, and this could be the start of a brilliant season for Minardi. Michael Schumacher second. Patrick Lamarie, in his debut race in Formula 1, has finished third in the BAR. That is a massive achievement. Mika Salo, our former driver, in 4th. Well, Benetton Sports Systems keep on moving back and forth, and Benetton Sports Systems are now with BAR, so I believe since this series has been running, they've been with Benetton, Williams, Sauber, and now BAR. All these teams are very conservative on their engine contracts for some weird reason. Already in free practice, I forgot to replace the parts on the cars, and obviously David Coulthard had an engine failure last time out of David Coulthard, but is Coulthard going to get past Hakkinen down to the first corner? No, in fact Schumacher nearly gets past Coulthard. Oh, and Coulthard's just about able to defend from Michael Schumacher there. Zanardi 6 laps behind everyone else. Okay, so scrap what I said about Zanardi doing well for once. He's not doing very well at all. Hakkinen with a bargeboard failure. This has not been a good race for us. It's been a repeat of the 99 Brazilian Grand Prix where we had a double retirement. Bargeboards are to blame this time though. But Michael Schumacher is going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. That is cruel. An electronics failure for Fisichella, which means Patrick Lamarie has taken 2nd place at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It was looking like it was going to be Fisichella, but not elated about that race, let's put it that way, not elated. The only positive I can think of to say, the only positive, is Marc Genet, our former driver, did finish 9th. Finally, we're going to have people having posters of the legendary Minardi Mercedes in their rooms, so let's accept that. Eddie Jordan is clearly off of his face because he still hasn't worked out that Ford Zetec engines are not good. Jacques Villeneuve is in 7th, with Mika Salo, the former race winner here last year in the Minardi, lines up in 8th. Marc Genet was half a tenth quicker than the Sauber driver of Alexander Wurz. As if I needed more convincing not to get Eddie Irvine next year, there's proof. Coulthard is a minute ahead of Schumacher. There's no competition. Frentzen, the other Ferrari's gone out with a driver error. Schumacher's out of a suspension failure, okay. But Mika Hakkinen is going to come across the line at San Marino San Marino Grand Prix, Imola, and he's going to win the 2001 San Marino Grand Prix. And hopefully he's going to lead a 1-2 ahead of David Coulthard. Finally got some points on the board as Coulthard, but he's going to come around the chicane and he's going to finish second, and this means we've had our first ever Minardi 1-2. You're having a laugh. I was just about to say, I've been looking forward to this moment. Sarrazin, I wanted to see him finally score some points. In much the same way I wanted to see Genet score some points. And neither of those two have scored points so far. I mean, a suspension failure 3 laps before the end for Sarrazin. That is cruel. Mika Hakkinen is now leading the Drivers' Championship, 4 points ahead of Michael Schumacher in second. Finally, we're leading the Constructors' Championship comfortably, 10 points ahead of Ferrari. There you go, you've heard it here first. We're not keeping Domenicali, he's one of the cost-cutting measures. So Johnny Herbert is currently their test driver. They've now promoted him to driver 1. Oh, no, but they've got Frentzen as their test driver. That's controversial, that is. I know Frentzen hasn't been that quick so far this season. Another statement from Arrows. They're keeping Mark Smith as their chief designer. And BAR confirms Laurent Redon as driver 1. Paul Stoddart has forced me to employ cost-cutting measures, and this is one of them. So, the other statement from McLaren, Riccardo Zonta as driver number 2. Amazingly, despite Minardi and Ferrari's very strong start to the season, it's BAR who take a 1-2 at Monte Carlo. Lining up right behind is Michael Schumacher in 3rd place in the Ferrari. Jean Alesi in the Arrows is in 4th place. Now, Arrows historically have been fantastic at this track, and with Jean Alesi being a fantastic driver, he's been able to drag the Arrows to 4th place. Finally, Mika Hakkinen, who's been the quickest driver clearly this year so far, set a lap time identical to the 1000th to Jarno Trulli, but unfortunately the race stewards decided that Jarno Trulli should take 5th place and not Mika Hakkinen. Hakkinen's teammate David Coulthard is quite a way behind us. He's down 12th place, which is quite shocking. He has actually, wow. Genet has pulled away 8 seconds from both Benettons in a lap around Monaco. Trulli is just behind Coulthard. Trulli's overtaken Coulthard. Jarno Trulli in the Jordan is catching up to Mika Hakkinen. Mika Hakkinen is going to come around the last corner, and he's going to get a win for Minardi Mercedes at Monaco. Villeneuve's have a suspension failure and Trulli's got past Coulthard. And he's going to take 2nd place. Thoroughly deserved, because he's absolutely made Coulthard look like a mug that race. Eddie Irvine qualified in last and he's in 6th. I just sent an email off to Jarno Trulli offering him driver number 1, but he would rather take driver 1 at Williams. Either that or he's... I'm gutted. Right, so Jarno Trulli, in the reply to the driver 1 email, he sent me a reply back as a blank email. Oh, it is Marc Genet as driver number 2. Driver 1, okay, so Takaki's career has slightly improved since '99. Finally, Jacques Villeneuve lines him in 6th place, which is very impressive considering the long start-finish straight and the fact that McLaren only has the Ford Zetec engine. No one else can even think about challenging us, so... I mean, sure, we're the only ones who've got a decent engine. Everyone else on the grid, apart from Ferrari, have got poor engines. Look, Petronas, Ford Zetecs, Peugeots. Frentzen with another driver error. This is by no means his first driver error. Trulli out of a driver error. Good thing I didn't sign him. Jeez, Trulli's doing poorly. God, good thing Williams are lumbered with him, because this race he's been appalling. Oh my god, what is going on? Another suspension failure. Another car failure. This is getting ridiculous. I said that a few episodes ago. I don't know whether it's Ross Brawn doing this because he's manufacturing the parts and this is his first time in the team, or whether this is because it's the first time we're using a Neil Oatley chassis. No, Schumacher's out of a bargeable failure, yes. At least our main rival, pretty much our only rival, isn't going to score any points as well. Mika Häkkinen's going to come around the last corner to win the 2001 Spanish Grand Prix. This is clearly a brutal track, 4 finishers, 4. So Häkkinen won, 3 minutes ahead of Fisichella. Third place, a podium for the rookie Stephen Watson, that's impressive. And Pedro Diniz claiming 4th for Sauber. Oh, they're retaining the services, so they've already got Patrick Head. They're going to keep Patrick Head as their technical director. Keeping Adrian Newey as their technical director. I mean, that's been interesting. I mean, ever since the start of the series, Ferrari have always ditched Ross Brawn and they've kept Adrian Newey. Then we got a statement from Stewart. Damon Hill's still going to be their driver number 1. Okay, so James Hawkins now. Remember, this is the guy who was rumoured to be the Ferrari number 2 driver for the 2000 season. So we may finally see James Hawkins in F1. Mazzacane is going to still be their test driver. So I think Mazzacane, ever since he left us at the end of '99, has always been Arrows' test driver. Has he finally come to his senses 2 years later? I'm sure he has. He hasn't. Ron Dennis still hasn't come to his senses. Williams have confirmed Ross Brawn, and as I don't know whether I confirmed it earlier on, but I definitely rumoured it and hinted at it. We've had to get rid of Ross Brawn as our technical director. I mean, it's part of the cost-cutting measure, and you may notice that David Coulthard hasn't set a lap, and that's because, well, if I just go over to his car condition, I forgot he actually had a broken suspension unit. Let's actually replace that now. What is surprising is how Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari was able to qualify 2nd, beating David Coulthard by 0.3 of a second. Did Frentzen get past Lamary? You would expect that from Frentzen. You would expect him in a Ferrari to get past the BAR. Wonderful move. He did the move which Coulthard failed to do, and this is ridiculous. Ferrari clearly favour Schumacher's car, because how often does Schumacher have a car failure? Rarely. How often does Frentzen have a car failure? All the time. That's not going to happen this time, as Häkkinen's going to win the Canadian Grand Prix. And then McLaren get a double points finish. There you go, that's quite impressive for McLaren and for us. It's impressive because we haven't had a car failure this race, so that's the impressive thing there. I'm guessing he's an EA employee. In fact, I know he's an EA employee because, well, A, I've never seen this guy before in my life, and B, Stewart are only paying him 10 grand a year. Prost confirmed Craig Tanswell. I guess he's an EA employee as well. Yeah, he is. Oh, and on the other end of the scale, Williams have confirmed Rory Bryn. Right, we got some more confirmations here. BAR confirms James Hawkins, or as their test driver. I guess that's a relief to see. Häkkinen leading it, that's not that much of a shock. Jacques Villeneuve in 2nd place. I think the most interesting result is Pedro Diniz in 5th. Michael Schumacher down in 8th. What on earth happened there for a guy who got pole position at every race last year? This is the biggest mystery to me, is what's going on with Frentzen. Our guys have lapped everyone on the field twice, apart from Villeneuve. Actually, Villeneuve is definitely holding his own in this race. I mean, brand new parts on both of the cars. How come Coulthard's had a bargeable failure then? Honestly, something's going on. I don't know whether it's Neil Oatley, I don't know whether it's Ross Brawn, but this is getting out of hand. 7 races in and we still can't get our reliability in order. Häkkinen, he's being held up by this Jordan. I don't know what's going on, but Häkkinen's going to cross the line to win the 2001 French Grand Prix. Pedro Diniz finished 6th at this Grand Prix. He's ahead of a former world champion in the Stewart. 2 new bits of news. Prost confirms Nick Heidfeld as driver 1. Yes, so finally we'll see Nick Heidfeld as a race driver. So he's going to be Prost driver number 1 next year. And he definitely wasn't at one of the top teams anyway. So for Ferrari to sign him, very bad signing there. And Ferrari are just going downhill. But Ralf Schumacher. So that means with Ralf Schumacher being Ferrari's number 2 driver, Ferrari have decided to have an all Schumacher driver lineup. That would be interesting actually, to have Michael and Ralph. Benetton confirms Gabriele Tradozzi as their chief designer. Initial signs aren't good. Obviously, again, there is more pace to get from our car, that's undoubted, but Patrick Lamarie, the rookie, topping the session. Both Saubers mysteriously didn't qualify today. Michael Schumacher actually was looking like he might well jump Hakkinen. He didn't quite, but hang on, Schumacher's ahead of... Whoa, I just saw from the distance, Schumacher has got past Mika Hakkinen. I saw he was challenging, but wow. Where have Michael Schumacher and Ferrari found this pace? This is going to be one of the big stories. John Lacey in the arrows, that's genuine pace. Look, we're seeing genuine pace on the arrows. Okay, not anymore. We were seeing genuine pace on the arrows. Right, we'll tell Hakkinen to push. It says he's within 1 second of Michael Schumacher. This is an epic battle. For the first time this season, we've actually got a serious threat from Ferrari. I'm loving it. Hakkinen's won the British Grand Prix, so finally I've got a winner at my home race. Both cars finished. David Coulthard in third. Sure, he's behind Schumacher, way behind Schumacher, but David Coulthard in third place. And Jacques Villeneuve at the moment, best of the rest. But then again, that is being highly contested by Fisichella and Trulli and Lamarie, but you would expect Fisichella or Lamarie to get that because they're in a BAR. At the end of the day, you know, Frentzen gets the last laugh because Ferrari aren't going to win the Constructors' Championship, so... I mean, you know, they might not even get second. BAR or McLaren or Jordan could all overtake him. Okay, Michael Schumacher, no surprise, is staying at Ferrari as their driver number 1. Oh no, they've accepted the offer. Okay, that's good. So we've made over $2 million a year saving there, and we've still got very good engines. It'll be... Williams confirms Giancarlo Fisichella as their driver too. So, and we got Neil McEwen as Williams' test driver. Thankfully, he won't be back racing, although he did get a race win last year, didn't he, at Hockenheim, which was spellbinding. This is exceptional. Heinz-Harald Frentzen is quicker than Michael Schumacher in practice. Jeez, Coulthard, what on earth happened there? Can he score? I know it sounds ridiculous. Frentzen in the Ferrari, you'd thought that's a match made in heaven. Actually no, Schumacher's behind Frentzen. So Frentzen has got ahead of his teammates. Is Schumacher going to repass his teammate? No, he's not. Frentzen, there you go. Come on, Frentzen, in third place. God, there was nearly a crash between a McLaren and... what was that? Was that an Arrows? How on earth has an Arrows got ahead of a McLaren? It's happened again. I don't understand what's going on. Why is Frentzen... There's been a few races where Frentzen could have scored points, and Hakkinen's going to win the Austrian Grand Prix for Minardi. That is fantastic for Hakkinen. But yeah, Coulthard might well overtake Michael Schumacher in the Drivers' Championship. Schumacher in third place. We then got Villeneuve in fourth, Lamarie fifth. That's domination if ever I've seen it. 106 points. Next nearest team, Ferrari, who can only build one car. They're essentially a one-car team on 33 points. That's the problem with Ferrari. If they had two reliable cars, maybe we get some competition from them. Maybe. So, my chief designer for next year is Neil Oatley. Although we need to save costs, Neil Oatley can produce the best chassis on the grid. We saw what we were like in 2000, where we had a great driver lineup, great engines and etc, but a poor chassis. We've had to make some cost cuts, unfortunately, and next year we've still got someone who's very good, very highly rated. It's Gustav Brunner. But next year we've had to get rid of Stefano Domenicali, and we've got Massimo Cusimano, another blast in the past. And again, this game never fails to amaze me. Again, Benetton Sports Systems at BAR. Hakkinen's awaiting recovery. So what on earth has happened to him? Engine failure. What is surprising is that David Coulthard is on pole position. So not only was Mika Hakkinen running on an older engine with less power, he was also at a disadvantage. He had less track time than his teammate, and so Hakkinen's setup is all over the place compared to Coulthard's. Because Hakkinen, I mean, if you look at the front and rear wing, Hakkinen demanded, he only wanted such low front and rear wing setups. But it's because he's used so many different engines, he doesn't really know what a perfect setup is. But I don't want to upset the guy. I mean, what's... That cheeky arrows! That cheeky arrows of Genet! Oh, okay, fair enough. If that's Genet, that's Genet who's holding up David Coulthard right now. Let's have a look at this. This is ridiculous. Look! Oh, Genet's just let Barrichello through and has held up Coulthard. And what was looking like a perfect race of Coulthard has now turned to a disaster of a race. He's let Frentzen pass. No, Frentzen's into second. That's Schumacher he let past. Not again. Not Frentzen with another car failure. Oh no. Hakkinen's out for suspension failure. Okay, well, Coulthard's been gifted the win, but I mean, he was catching up on Hakkinen, but I didn't want to see Hakkinen go out of a suspension failure. Coulthard's going to win 2001 German Grand Prix. Tell you what, this year, when they've both been in the Stewarts, they've been more evenly matched, and Damon Hill, credit to him, he's going to get 4th place. Only just, but Hakkinen's still, well, only just, you know, I mean, he's only got just over double the points of Schumacher. Very good electronics, and they only cost $52,500 a year, hence why we haven't changed them. But we've had to make some cost cuts, and we're getting Brembo brakes. Yeah, as you can tell by the fact I've never heard of his name before, and from the picture, he is another EA employee. I don't know what Sauber are doing. Giving one of their cars to an EA employee, very risky. But finally, 3rd place in free practice. I mean, Michael Schumacher in 6th. So I've no idea what's going on there. Schumacher are way down the field. Okay, Genet, that's good. We'll look at Genet, whatever. Genet's inside Coulthard, but Coulthard has got ahead of Genet. We saw Genet was slow, and I'm a bit confused as to why he was that slow. We've only done 28 laps, and he's 8 laps behind Hakkinen. He's been lapped by his teammate 5 times, Genet has. Oh! Schumacher out with a bargeboard failure. That means Frentzen could well get a podium. And this might actually secure his driver's championship with Schumacher out. It might well do, actually. Hakkinen's come across the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. And where's Frentzen? Frentzen's still going. Okay, I want to see Frentzen come across the line. What? What? No. You're not telling me 3 laps before the end Frentzen's going to have a suspension failure? Oh, Hakkinen just about hasn't won the driver's title. The only person who can take the driver's title off of Hakkinen is Coulthard. Yep, I've just done the maths. Ferrari can only score a potential maximum of 80 points. That would put them short. I wasn't expecting to win the Constructors' title this early. Wow. We've won the Constructors' Championship already after only 11 races in a 16-race season. There you go, but anyway, our driver number 1 for 2002, Luca Padoa. Our driver number 2 for next year is Mika Salo. But we got someone brand new to the Minardi family. It's Patrick Lamarie. I think we've still got a strong team. We've made massive savings, but I still think we've got a strong team. What on earth could this be? Every announcement McLaren makes this season is exceptional. As we've seen, Ron Dennis has gone mad, so what's he done this time? Eddie Irvine as a test driver. Maybe they're just doing it just to take the piss because Irvine's a former Ferrari driver, so they're just taking the piss out of Ferrari. I don't know. To be honest, that's the most logical thing I can think of. Marc Genet has run out of engines in the Arrows, and so he won't be taking any further part in this season. Hang on, what? Ross Brawn, what have you been doing? Apparently, Ross Brawn hasn't built any more suspension units. Well, how's Hakkinen going to win a race now? There's no way he's going to finish on that suspension unit. Ralph has let past Michael, so that's nice. That's some nice brotherly love there we're seeing. Oh, there's Lamourie. Look, this is what I mean. Lamourie has had very poor reliability this year. 12 races with the biggest name in the Formula 1 business, and he hasn't finished any of them. Alesi. Right, never mind what I was saying. I was going to say Alesi could finish in the points. That's not going to happen. There we go, Coulthard's won, and we should see the other people come across the line very soon. We could have just given Hakkinen an older suspension unit. I don't know what Ross Brawn's doing. I don't know how he can't manufacture these parts, considering Mike Gascoigne and Gustav Brunner were able to do it easily. Mika Hakkinen has just about not sealed the Drivers' Championship. He should have done last time in Belgium. If I had half a brain, he would have secured it in Belgium. But he could secure it in Italy. There's only 3 fourth model suspensions, so given an entire fortnight, Ross Brawn hasn't been able to manufacture enough suspensions for this Grand Prix. Apparently, I only told Ross Brawn to manufacture the new front wing and not the new rear wing. Heinz Frenzen's third though, so he's quicker than Michael Schumacher now. Oh, don't tell me it. Jesus, how many cars did Hakkinen give birth to? If he does, there you go, Alesi spinning out there, so Arrows have run out of engines and their season is over. Okay, so Sarrazin is leading the race, Hakkinen in second, Deniz in third, Coulthard fourth, Frentzen is in fifth, and so is Mika Salo. So Mika Salo, who won here last year, is out with a driver error. The fact is, this Ferrari shouldn't build a car that's this unreliable, but when you've got an extremely unreliable car, you've got to take the chances you can. And Frentzen just hasn't. Wow, jeez. Hakkinen out with a bargeboard failure. Oh my word. If Coulthard, he's going to win the Italian Grand Prix, and hopefully the Tifosi will love that, the former McLaren driver winning on home turf. Damon Hill, there you go, third place. That's good to see. Damon Hill. He lost second place last year due to a car failure. I believe a suspension failure last year, but Damon Hill finally is going to be on the podium this series at Monza. What isn't a big achievement is Olivier Panis was able to score 2 points, but I mean, it's stupid. He scored 2 points, but he was 13 laps off. Manager Championship, Ron Dennis. Ron Dennis has done all these stupid things, yet the game reckons he's the second best manager. Padoa, who's been hanging over us the entire time, because there he is, that's his car. Can Hakkinen wrap up the championship here, or can Coulthard carry on his charge? I don't think Red Bull are going to be too happy about this, because well, they're incomprehensible, their sponsor. And PlayStation, I don't think they're going to be too happy about this. Ralf Schumacher, in practice, is the third fastest guy. He's quicker than his brother. I think all the teams are running a sponsor-free livery day. This is either Alesi or Genet. Jesus, he went through so many cars to retire there. Trulli's out of a driver error. Good thing I didn't get him as my driver. Coulthard's past Hakkinen. Frentzen's ahead of Schumacher. Well, the second I mentioned that Frentzen's ahead of Schumacher, oh no he isn't, because Frentzen has a suspension failure, so I think that's Stephen Watson that must be. There's some other slow people there. There's a Sauber swerving around all over the place. Don't tell me Hakkinen's going to pass. That Williams has screwed over Coulthard's race. Hakkinen has passed Coulthard. Although what about the Sauber? Can the Sauber screw up Hakkinen? Coulthard could get past, no, Coulthard's in the train. I thought the game crashed then, don't worry. But Hakkinen, he's going to come across the line to win the European Grand Prix and win the Drivers' Championship. In my eyes, Coulthard won that race. He really did. Coulthard, he was screwed over by Watson and Diniz. But so many engine failures does beg the question, who on earth is actually going to finish the next race? Who's going to start the next race even? Probably no one. Because Paul Stoddart, he wanted Tarso Marquez to drive for 2001. He wanted Tarso Marquez. I don't know, I think he wanted some young Spaniard. I think he was called, I don't know, Fernando Alonso, something like that. Load of rubbish, those guys are probably. Now that Supertech have overtaken the other teams, maybe Williams could get third in the Constructors. I guess it's nice, you know, knowing that there are people, a few people out there who want to buy a Minardi mug. Don't know who on earth that would be, but anyway. He's such a good designer, constantly evolving and improving the car. Neil Oatley, he's probably the greatest asset to our team, to be honest. This is exceptional. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, the fastest in practice, 3 tenths quicker than Michael Schumacher, and somehow both Ferraris are quicker than both Minardis. Now you may have noticed that there are 8 people who didn't complete a lap in qualifying, the interesting one being Mika Hakkinen. Now Mika Hakkinen, once qualifying started, suffered with an immediate electronic failure.
I can't continue, the car is too damaged.
Oh great, Hakkinen. That was you who said that then. Is that Schumacher ahead of Coulthard? Coulthard was held up by a Sauber. It's just like the European Grand Prix. No, Coulthard is still up behind Schumacher, and actually, this could be the first time this year we're actually seeing Ferrari put up a real fight to Minardi. I genuinely think Schumacher could win this race. Frentzen again with a driver error. What is this guy playing at? But anyway, going back to what I was saying, De La Rosa and Wirtz retiring with either a driver error or a barge wall failure. That's clever, because that means their engine is doing less mileage. Good old Ross Brawn, eh? Good old Ross Brawn / Neil Oatley. I don't really know who to blame anymore, but another suspension failure for Coulthard. And despite not even qualifying, he's going to win the Malaysian Grand Prix. A champion's drive to come from 18th to 1st. And then it's a battle, I'd say, for the best of the rest between Jacques Villeneuve and Stephen Watson. He's got a slower engine than Coulthard, but was still a second a lap quicker. But then I think the really interesting thing is Alexander Wirtz, the 6th quickest guy. Minardi's closest challenger all season, Michael Schumacher, is in 3rd, although he's 6 seconds slower than the Minardis. So this could be, well, we could be here for a very, very long time, waiting for all of the guys to retire. We should see Panis go out, there you go. Damon Hill, our former driver, he got a podium with us, he was a great driver, and well, what a sad way to see him go. Jacques Villeneuve, actually no, this is the interesting one, because Villeneuve is battling for 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Now he's battling with Stephen Watson. The fact he's retiring and Watson isn't means how's he going to compete? Genet's out, there's another one of our former drivers out. Diniz into the tyre barrier. Jesus! A 360, I love it from Irvine. Right, Sarazan. Yep, he's spun out. Whoa, there's the other BAR. That would be Lamary out. There's Mika Salo, another one of our former drivers. There he is, into the wall. No, not quite in the wall, actually. No, is he getting past his teammate? Well, it would be tactical since Watson's battling for 4th in the Drivers' Championship. There you go, good old Williams helping each other out there. Fizzy Keller in 3rd. Okay, well, that lasted long. He was in 3rd and now he's in 11th. Not even at the last race of the season. Even now, Frentzen can't score a point. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, in a Ferrari, has scored no points all year. Boy, has he been dominant. Really dominant. Look, he's going to come round the last corner to win the last race of the 2001 season. For Minardi, for Mercedes, get in there, Hakkinen. He fought for the championship, unfortunately he just couldn't quite do it, and he's going to take second at Japan in 2001. And, oh no, he's still got some more laps to do. Just as I was talking about Schumacher as some kind of god, he's still got some more laps. Well, right, okay, we'll let him do his laps. He's got another lap to do, okay. Stephen Watson 5th, I believe that means he's just about taken 4th place in the Drivers' Championship from Jacques Villeneuve. So Stephen Watson, in his debut year, outscored his teammate and outscored Jacques Villeneuve. Ford Cosworth for Sauber. That will be good. Hopefully they've got that actually. Finally, this will be the first time that a team has negotiated a good engine contract, like an upgrade. Please tell me Sauber have done it. I keep on saying Sauber make boring announcements. Please tell me Sauber have done something good. No! So there you go. We've got the champion sponsor and the winner F1 sponsor. So I think that sums up our team very well. We're champions, we're winners, we've won F1. And Stewart just seemed to like, we may as well make Stewart, I mean, you know, if Stewart wants to be our official B team, sure, go for it. I mean, I think someone forgot to tell Neil Oatley that the season's done. But Neil Oatley, this was the first year we were able to use one of his designed chassis, and it made the world of difference. Honestly, Neil Oatley, I cannot thank you enough. Ross Brawn, some controversy around you. Have you been fitting parts badly? Have you been making unreliable parts? I think he's such an amazing guy in Formula 1. One of the most amazing and impressive people in Formula 1. And then Stefano Domenicali, great guy, love the Italian connection. He's good. I mean, he just negotiated the winner F1 contract. Mika Hakkinen, as I've already said, dominant driver. I think it's criminal that no one is having him as their driver next year. And then David Coulthard, our second driver, very good, very solid driver number 2. Couldn't have asked for more, and this year was his most successful season in terms of the number of points he scored. And then the test driver. Well, this year we had Luca Padoa. He was phenomenal in pre-season testing. What can I say here? What can I say? Minardi, dominant, 194 points. Williams third in the Constructors, so they did overtake McLaren at the last race, so massive congrats to Williams. And amazingly, Prost, despite them being the slowest in pre-season testing, Prost scored 2 points this year and Arrow scored none. Manager rating, well there you go, I've finally wrapped that up. I should have won it last year, I blew it right to the end, but finally I've won the Managers' Championship. Unfortunately, I have decided to leave Minardi because Paul Stoddart being so incredibly stingy with his cost cuts with his money is ridiculous. But from all the people at the team and all the people back at Faenza, the people I never mentioned, but all those assistants to all of our heads of department, all those hundreds of assistants back at Faenza, I'll see those guys later, hopefully on the grid in 2002. I'll be watching as a spectator, and I'll see you then.